Okay, here we are. Epic. We're live. It took a while. I don't know why that happened. I mean, I do know why it happened. I hit start streaming, and I was in the wrong OBS profile because I was testing some color shit yesterday, so that's embarrassing. Definitely should have double-checked that. What's up, Connor? What's up, Veek? Hello, welcome. So I've been talking with iquare about some updates to the game. They are, in the grand scheme of things, they're quite minor, but we do have a new upgrade called Blade Vortex. It replaces Battle Harmony, and it's for Legionnaires. I think it will help to differentiate Legionnaires from Zealots in a pretty big way. So to demonstrate this upgrade, I'm actually going to do something a little different, which is... well, I'm going to try to play on Don's map, because I did tell him I was going to do that. So we're going to do free-for-all here. I did not update the GPTP plugin, so we still have the old number of workers. It's my own fault. Fix that real quick. It turns out the reason why the workers were not proper in the Fraud Night that we played was actually related to... I guess iquare's initialize file didn't have the hook enabled that I modified for that particular purpose. So it should be good now, because I just said it, yeah. That's pretty epic, yeah. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. What do you mean? Thank you for your contribution, you piece of shit. Alright, we're going to see what we can demonstrate here anyway. Boy, do I have a lot of programs open. So we're actually going to go for a fast set of Legionnaires to see how well they can even work. I don't know what my opponents are. I guess I'll scout since I don't have enough psi. Because my build order was terrible. My first time trying to play this game early in the morning. I haven't even had more than one sip of G Fuel. So, didn't even hockey my scout, as a matter of fact. And hopefully this will be sufficient for Dawn, because... Okay, we've got a blue Terran. Scout the next guy. I don't know what the fuck that build order is. Didn't get enough information, man. Okay. So we'll start out with some Zealots, just because we can't immediately morph our gateways into principalities. And we'll get a Forge next. Notably, you don't need any gas to access principalities. They just require a Forge. Alright, we got a Zerg here. Probably already expanded, but I don't know where the expansions are in this map. That or it's a real slow fucking 9 pool. Yeah. Slightly turn down my PC volume here. Yeah, right now I'm just messing around, scouting some stuff out, trying to see how well Mass Legionnaire works with the new upgrade. I don't really think they spike too heavily in the early game, but it's okay. That Zealot's still following me. These ramps are pretty enormous. Oh, they still cost 100 minerals. Wow, I fucked some stuff up today, huh? Okay. iquare was worried they would be broken, so now's a good time as any to figure that one out. I'm so used to the 70, like looking out for 75. I conditioned myself before I started playing. It's like, all right, they're 75 now, not 100, and of course I fucked that one up. All right, we're gonna need a Citadel pretty soon. Oh, that's true. I didn't even really think about this one. So, I was testing the upgrade in an environment where the maybe Legionnaire should have slightly faster attack speed or something. Oh man, it's been bullied. It's okay, my build order was pretty dreadful. Oh, see ya. Hi. I like this move. This is an excellent move. We'll just wait here. Dude, how long does a photon cannon take? I would have a lot more Legionnaires if the mineral cost wasn't such shit. Focus fire. I'm trying and failing to probe drum. There we go. Ah. Okay, thank goodness. Alright, currently it does not require Templar Archives, which is pretty good because we're getting our asses handed to us by superior Protoss units. What's up, Alexander? You know, Battle Harmony was initially supposed to require Templar Archives, according to the documentation. At some point, I really have to go through the new game state documentation and make sure that everything is up to date, either by editing the data files to reflect the new game state, or to edit the game state document to reflect whatever is sane. PHP is bullshit. I've heard only horrible things. Yeah, for the number, like the actual value you get out of this unit before it's upgraded, 75 minerals is much more reasonable than 100. Holy shit. Alright, we're gonna need another pylon. Mind you, I am one basing. I mean, I know Protoss don't need much here, but I don't think we'll have extreme success. So with any luck, the Zerg are not completely dead and they are currently occupying the Protoss. Alright, jump right into leg enhancements. That was weird. What are you trying to do in PHP? Is it for class or something? I am notably not spending nearly as much money on pylons as I thought I would, so at least that's still there. Once we get this leg enhancements upgrade, I think we'll be good to go. I don't know where my fucking natural is in this map. I think it's like north of me or something. Basically homework. Got it. Hey. This is my base. Get out of here. Of course, they will start sending units to reinforce this, but we should be able to get rid of it pretty soon. Now check that out, baby. Instant surround. See ya, nerd. Holy fuck. That is pretty good. Hi. That's fucking busted. In a good way. Alright, we got that mild speed upgrade. Let's see what we got here. And yes, you can use it on your own units. So if I wanted to quickly navigate out of here, I could do some pretty epic micro plays. Hi. That's the upgrade that they have. I don't think the game can support as many projectiles or sprites or whatever it's trying to do here. Oh, fuck. Hey, get that. So as long as they're within 3 range, they can do that. It's pretty cool. Oh, fuck. Okay. Epic. Hi. They have to. One of them has to attack it first before it can become a focal point for the rest. Oh shit, the Zerg is actually doing something. It's unheard of. Still I'm only on 1 base. For shame. So yeah, the visual read does not seem to be working as well as it could, but that's alright. Holy shit. I do... I think this is going to be a hilarious unit to use. Well, I hope iquare watches this back, because this is some sick shit. Hey. What's happening over here? Hey! Hey, I needed that. How am I supposed to build more Legionnaires, huh? Oh, this is only building normal zealots. Those are worthless. So what do you think, Alexander? I think it could be big. You never know. I don't know where any of the bases are on this map. Hi. How are you? Ah! Sick 'em! That is some illness. Oh yeah. Dude, what the fuck is that? Why is the Argosy got a Defiler mound on it? Get that photon cannon! I was wondering why they weren't all teleporting, and then I remembered they're not all Legionnaires. $80 shields, 40 health, 10 plus 2 damage, 1 armor. I have no anti-air. It's okay. I don't need anti-air. Obviously, I went for a meme build here, and it's not necessarily 100% guaranteed. Like, you should be microing these units a lot more than I am, generally speaking. Also, the read is completely work in progress here. They cost 100 minerals right now. They're supposed to cost 75. The upgrade that gives them that teleport is a 200-200 upgrade that requires the Templar Archives. Or it will when I fix the upgrade requirement on it. Okay, archives. Well, I'm not going to have variable price depending on upgrades. I think they're already pretty squishy. I might nerf their shields even further, but the default Zealot is way tankier. Regular Zealot is something like 80 health, 100 shields, or 80 shields, 100 health, or something. Yeah, 100 health, 60 shields. Okay. So what I could do, I could up their health to 50 from 40 and lower their shields to 60 from 80, which would still be a net decrease in survivability. But it makes them slightly less reliant on shields. Or I could set them to 60-60, which would still be 40 less health than a Zealot. They can do more damage, but only if there's a lot of them, which is why that, like, that's why they're spammy in that sense. But oh boy, do we have some stuff. Hey, once you get your keyboard put together and all that, hopefully you'll be down to come in and do some more game night stuff. Right, the one supply cost is certainly distinct. Makes them distinct in that sense. They're pretty much the only spammable unit in the entire Protoss arsenal. Like, spammable on that level. So, you know, maybe I'll end up increasing the supply cost back to 2. And then I'll also increase their health to offset that. That is an option for sure. But we'll see how they work out in the current setup, because I'm pretty sure that like anything like lurkers, basilisks, even fucking mutalisks would do a number on them. Obviously, reavers would destroy them. I think upgraded reavers kill them in 1 hit. Pretty sure. Whereas obviously they'd take more than that to kill a zealot. So there's that. There's siege tanks. There's fire bats. Safety off Cyprians. All sorts of crazy ass stuff. So. I'm pretty sure that there's. I mean, Psystorm, you know, they die to one Psystorm if they stay in it. So while their mobility is pretty significant right now, the issue is that they are not a very they're a unit that just put bluntly, they die quickly, right? They're a squishy unit. So it's definitely a weird upgrade. I'm not gonna lie there. So let's pop over here to the GitHub stuff. Now, of course, we need a Protoss Legion build so that we can really make the most out of that. Okay. Oh, I didn't even think I still had this up. Nice. Oh, it's this song. Epic. Oh, yeah, what is the requisite for upgrade? Oh, they never get it. Nice. Max. Oh. So Gateway already gets it. They're the only ones who get it, apparently. So I would say... we can do the same thing as mech. Okay. All right. we're blazing around my desktop here. Hope you guys enjoy the breakneck speed. Okay, cool. Yeah, I did a test of those. I just finished coding an AI build that will prioritize them as well that I'm going to test soon. Sometimes if there's a lot of them, it doesn't actually show the graphic, and it teleports them really fast. Maybe there should be like an internal timer, even though I really don't like cooldowns, but... I'll show you what I mean. Wait. Is it not done? Oh, I hit the wrong key, I guess. I assume it's because it's firing before the effect has a chance to cleanse, so the effect is disappearing. But I'm not sure. You see how like some of them are teleporting without any effect? I'm not sure what the what a balancing act would look like really. I don't want it to be a cooldown because cooldowns are really silly. But I guess maybe it could be an activation thing like Stim Pack or something. So like for the next 10 seconds, you have this behavior. I don't know what the the cost would be though, because there has to be a cost associated with it, or the cooldown would be the cost, and we can't do cooldowns because we're not Blizzard. So it would be something like, I wouldn't want to give them energy to manage that. I would say instead, I guess I could give them energy and have each blink reduce their energy, and then you could EMP them or something, or Maelstrom them. The Malediction Maelstrom would absolutely eviscerate them though, so it feels like there's a little too many moving parts there to balance it that way. I was thinking maybe they have to teleport to a different target. Like they can't teleport to the same target twice in a row. That might be a balancing effect. Like if a Legionnaire has already teleported to the target, that same Legionnaire can't teleport to that same target again until they teleport to another target. So like if Legionnaire A attacks a Marine and then Legionnaire B teleports to the Marine and then the Marine kites back, Legionnaire B can't teleport to the Marine again unless they teleport to another unit first. So it's like, can't do 2 in a row. And obviously this would be... The problem with that, though, is that it's not very clear. Because if the timer disappears, like there's no Legionnaire hits on the Marine, and it disappears, and then they get hit again, they should teleport to it again, in theory. Then that should be how that mechanic works, but then that's not very clear. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll think of some ideas, assuming it ends up being too broken or whatever. I think it'll just take a lot of getting used to, generally speaking. Oh yeah, I guess I can fix this. Close that for now. Right, yeah. So at some point we'll have to get our own read, but we can't really mess around with adding new sprites. I think we probably do have some vacant sprite entries, but I don't think it's necessary to dig through all that. Exemplar is ID 94, ISID 376. Okay. I'm not sure what frame that is or why it would be being called here. We have 0, 0. And local just waits. Take a look at the graphic. Yeah, so this is the attack animation frame. That's 0x33. Oh, because I was using the air attack animation, which I did not fix. That would be wrong. Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's awesome. I hope you're not... I hope it's okay that we're spending so much time, anyway, on Hydra. I know you were also hoping to get work done on Overlord and stuff, but I really appreciate the help that you've been giving. It's definitely been... really, really helpful. Extender framework also is super exciting for me because that means obviously we don't have nearly as many limitations. We can just plow on through with like graphic conversions. Like I'll have motivation to do those again some more, and a bunch of other stuff. We'll be able to add in those add-ons eventually once we get the unit extenders in. We'll be able to add in the new add-ons for the Cyprian, the... I'll probably even buff the Cyprian once that happens because it'll mandate an add-on in order for the unit to be used. So you'll probably see like maybe a 5 HP buff to it or something. Or maybe a damage factor buff or something for the upgrades. I don't know. But yeah, I reworked the Cyprian a little bit yesterday. So they are pretty significantly different now. I'm not sure what that will result in. Really, there's only one personality that even uses them right now, so I'll have to make a bio personality that escalates them. But yeah, there's been a lot of changes, and it really would not have been possible without you, man. So I really appreciate your help in that respect. Yeah, that's what I think, like AoE like that, lurkers. There's going to be some things that are really obviously obvious counters to Legionnaire play, which is one of the reasons why I'm not really worried that Legionnaires are going to be too busted. It's like there's so many things that deal AoE in this game. Archons, for example. Like, oh yeah, we're going to surround an Archon, and half of us are going to die because we have no health because we're a weaker tier 1 unit that's meant to be spammed. So stuff like that, you know, you got lurkers, archons, basilisks from afar that outrange them even when they are teleporting. It's like, I think basilisks even move faster than... well, the basilisks might move a little slower once their new graphic is in. We'll see what happens there, but there's definitely going to be some interesting counters, I think, to that. So I'm not really worried about the balance as much as I am like, I don't know about the ability having no cooldown and no limiting factor to it at all. It does seem a little crazy, but maybe it'll work out just fine. I don't know. Awesome stuff. So that's in. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break to use the bathroom, and when I come back, we'll be working on the AI military training blocks. I'm going to start with Zerg and work my way backwards to the other races after that, and we should be able to get some pretty good progress done on those just from the... I just now realized the Hydra Melee AI documentation is using the wrong fucking links, which is hilarious. So let me fix that real quick. Okay. So that's fixed. Alright, so I shall return momentarily. Epic. Alright, iquare, thanks for your help. Hopefully build news going well. It's definitely going to be a useful command, man. I'll tell you that much. Crashed battle. So I have to kind of figure out how the how I'm going to conceptualize the system of queuing military. I was thinking of doing it in a kind of similar way to basically I want to create a loop, or a set of loops, one for each personality. So similar to upgrades or similar to adding production structures, we're going to be doing it that way, I think. So I'm pretty sure these will be relatively simple in essence, because they're just going to be calling a lot of really simple functions that will be checking stuff. And so I'm not really 100% sure how it'll work per se, but I want it to work as a loop. I mean, Zerg is different because they have so many different things that they've got to take into account, larva counts, that sort of thing. But for Terran and Protoss, it'll be more easy to just track number of production structures. And so for Zerg, I could probably track tech or something like that. I think it'll end up being multi-runs instead of calls for the actual blocks that do the queuing. But for yeah, I think that's probably fine. So if we do something like, first of all, we're going to be checking for a variable at the beginning. So we'll say ex weight can queue 113. That'll be a new variable that we add to all of them. And I think sort of similar to the expansion or upgrade opcodes, we're also going to be multi-running a lot of these. Oh. Huh. I wonder if that has anything to do with why. Anyway. Yeah, I don't actually know if I should bother with farms no timing. I don't know if farms timing can even overwrite it. Oh, another thing I wanted to experiment with. There's actually two other things I wanted to experiment with, but we'll do it one at a time. Anyway, like I was saying just now, we're going to multi-run this at the beginning, so we'll say Alright, so we also have to check for this variable at the beginning of the block, That way we're not going to run into issues where it's actually running before the personality has even been decided. So I suppose we could just create a separate variable like personality decided or something, but whatever. Let's see. So the reason why I'm also mirroring the variable check down here is because we're going to have these be loops. So at the end, we're going to have go to whatever the military block is. Go to military honor. Go to swarm. So then we'll just add this here. And like I said, this is going to be a loop that multi-runs a bunch of other blocks. So whether or not I make the individual request block unique to each personality remains to be seen. That is how I handled like production structures, hatcheries, layers, hives, that sort of thing. Different personalities would prioritize getting different quantities of those. Just like in, for Terrans, it would be barracks, starport, factory, that sort of thing. So, based on that, I mean, obviously the issue is we're going to be queuing a lot of different military, I think. But I think for now, with this experiment, we're going to wait to queue only the essential military. And maybe the essential military does end up being different depending on the faction or personality. So for this case, queue military gen, you'd probably want Zerglings and Vorvilings and Mutas or something like that. Maybe that's for air, and then in this case it would be Zerglings, Vorvilings, and I guess Hydras would be a basic one. Whereas Connor would be the Zerglings would be for everybody, but Connor would be like Hydra and Lurker or Hydra and Basilisk. Well, Swarm will be Ling, Vorv, maybe Muta, or maybe Hydra Lurker or something like that. What is back to what original? Variables are definitely more useful. The biggest issue is jumping is much more annoying, but that's okay. We can still make it happen. So in this case, we'll say bring it. I feel like one of your messages got deleted, Ultralisks. I don't know if you see what I'm talking about there. Yeah. So borrow no longer requires an evolution chamber. Right. And iquare patched it up so that units that are burrowed will just get unburrowed if a building is placed over them. This is for all players, so you can't deny them anymore, which is really the only reason why I made the change to begin with. Yeah, maybe there could be an alias like that. Or we could do something like writing... Well, we can't write any... I don't know. I'm not sure how you would do an alias like that. I think it should be, because if a worker unit gets close enough to lift... to start a building... Come on now. And also, I didn't even test this, but I wanted to... I'm not sure if this is how it works out or not. Epic. See ya, nerd. Now that's awesome. Finally, a reason to use... No, that's good. I wanted that. I'm not laughing facetiously. That's what I want. I want the units to die. Listen, if you can move your slow-ass lift-off structure into the front line of where the lurkers are, you deserve to kill them. That's what I think. Another reason to bring Scourge. No, that's perfect. Windows is really having a fit today, and just in general lately. I don't even remember the cost of the Basilisk Classic. So it's 50.75 plus 75.50, so it's 125 and 29. Wow, Lurker 50, 100. So again, 124. And gas is 124. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Well, if this works, that took almost no time at all, honestly. Oh, well, I guess the bigger problem is I won't actually see that in action until the build orders are over. Maybe that's fine, though. For the few ones where I want them to start queuing military sooner, obviously I can manually set that through variables, but I don't know of any Zerg builds that I would want to do that. I think the only build that I even wanted to do that in across all races is probably the... if I had to guess, it would be... it would probably end up being the two fact vault build that Connor went up to like 90 supply in or something. That's the only one that I would think of in that sense. Well, I have a freeze. Oh, I think I know why. I don't have a wait in here. Yeah. What should the wait be? Maybe 30 seconds is a bit much. 15 is probably a bit too low. Why don't we say 20? Okay. Now the problem is if this improves the Zerg, I'm not sure that it'll improve them enough to beat off any would-be offenders. Like the Terran and Protoss are still pretty okay. But if it also improves the Terran and Protoss, like that could be even worse. Like maybe the Zerg become champions. Say the Zerg are so fucking good now that this change took place that they become epic. And no race can trump them. And then I do this change for Protoss and Zerg and or Terran, and we're right back where we started. Could happen. I don't know. So. I think this tech switch results in almost no units being built, so that's definitely a problem for these guys. Maybe we'll get some Legionnaire love. No, I guess not. Fuck them, you know what I mean? saw only one zealot. It's okay, he only has leg enhancements, no Blade Vortex just yet. How embarrassing. I think that's a hallucination. Hi. I build Scourge for no reason. Blue striking back at purple. See ya, nerd. Orange seems to have some units. It's getting kissed still. Uh-oh. Teleports in. I don't know why they build Scourges. They're supposed to only build them for occasional attack, like when they get attacked by air units. But as soon as you can fix player need to not be stupid, that we will see some improvement in the AI spending. That's for sure. Holy fuck. So dumb. It doesn't take into account unit buildings that are in progress, I think. Also, an issue I noticed with Legionnaires is sometimes they'll teleport to an area where they don't actually have an attack range. But despite this, they will freeze and not do anything. It's really weird. Like, you can manually order them to do something after that, but it's like they think that they should be able to attack, and they don't. If that makes any sense. Not sure what to do about that. Just remember there was a comment about mind control I had to respond to. Oh, I haven't even tested to make sure that the collision fix took into effect for basilisks. Alright, well, pre-placed ones are fine, it seems. And the eggs do seem to carry some weight here. Okay, so they are fixed. Within. If you want to, I just put together a version of the 4-gate guide that goes for an earlier Citadel of Adun timing and gets 4 principalities relatively early off of 1 base. But if you want to do something similar to that, it doesn't have to be 4-gate or super early aggression. It can be something that scales and maybe has like 2 gateways, 2 principalities in the early stages, or something like that, more even split before at the end of the guide or towards the end of the guide it can transition into all Legionnaires or all principalities, so it's like Legionnaire Dragoon or something. But it's up to you. I think you were working on a Goliath one or something. I don't know if you've already started that. I just saw that you posted about that. So I don't need it to... It doesn't need to skip the line if there's already something that you were working on or planning on working on. But if you end up being inspired to do that, feel free. Oh yeah, I gotta figure out why the Argosy breaks. Ah, okay. Went to the gym for longer than usual today, or what? Oh, okay. Hope everything is kosher and all that. Right. Times are still bizarre. That's for sure. Oh no! Oh no, it happened again! It's a conspiracy. There we go. A conspiracy of me being dumb. The worst kind of conspiracy. So here's a puzzle for you. How the fuck am I supposed to put all the buttons here? Because there's supposed to be a 6th unit trained from the starport, the Wyvern. Which will require a control tower, I think. Or maybe a physics lab. But probably not. Maybe it will, though, because the Valkyrie... I guess it could be an escalation for the Valkyrie. Well, I could, but that seems pretty rude. What's up? Welcome. We're discussing how to deal with the fact that the Wyvern can't fit on the Starport's command card because there's too many units and add-ons. No, I don't have a variant of the Valkyrie. The Wyvern is only something that can handle ground, but so like in theory it could work as like a one or the other thing where you choose which add-on you want. We really just need to be able to have more than 9 buttons on the command card, which is something that we've conceptualized dealing with for a while. Nah, Wraiths are pretty ubiquitous. I think it's fine if they don't... Like, we don't need to be creating additional variants for stuff where necessary... Where it is unnecessary. I'm thinking, like, a really stupid solution would be to remove buttons for stuff where... If you have the Control Tower add-on already set up, you would remove the Battlecruiser and Wyvern icons. And if you have the Physics Lab add-on attached, you would remove the Battlecruiser, or sorry, you'd remove the Science Vessel and Valkyrie add-ons. But currently that doesn't really bear out, because you would still need all 6 unit icons to be on there so that you knew what was what when you were building your first add-on, you know what I mean? So, really the solution here is to have more than 9 buttons, so... and 9 is 3 times 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 threes. So it's good to increase that where possible. I think we were going to add 4 more? I'm not sure, though. So the changes were to basically make it so that you had... there's going to be like a change where you'll see passives still on like the bottom right of the unit. So if we go to the Wraith, like its upgrades and stuff will be on the bottom right. But there's going to be a new section of the UI that's specifically designed to handle like tech abilities, basically. So active abilities that you can use, like Cloak. So if you select a bunch of Wraiths, obviously they can cloak together, but you would see like the Cloak option, and if you select a mixed group where it was Cloak and Decloak were available, you would still have the Wraith passives in the bottom right, but Cloak and Decloak would both be in the bottom left with the shared abilities. Then you would have something like, you know, if you had Marines and Firebats, you would see Stimpack in the bottom left, but also the passives of the, like a Polyoid Adhesive if Firebats had that, Marine Range if Marines had that. that sort of thing. Now, this wouldn't mean that you would see all shared abilities. Like if you selected a bunch of High Templar and then a bunch of regular units like Zealots, you wouldn't still have access to Psystorm in the bottom left. The idea is that if they're using the same ability, like Marines and Firebats using Stimpak, or Wraiths in various states of Cloak, then all of their shared abilities would show up in the bottom left. So it's kind of a niche thing anyway, but in the future, like if somebody were to set up some heroes or something that also had, you know, they both have Psionic Storms because it's Tassadar the Templar and his High Templar cohorts. Well, they can all cast it, right? You could all, similar to if you had a bunch of High Templar selected. And in that sense, it doesn't provide you with a distinction. So I'm not sure about the passive icons for multiple units selected. Maybe I could end up adding something like that, but shifting over the active abilities to the bottom left a little bit more. It would basically be like around the portrait area of the UI. So it would be like basically the portrait would move up to be in line with the top bar over here. And we would have 4 new icons where the portrait is. So I think I've already made a mock-up of this for Zerg. So I think this is in projects. Actually, I'm not sure where this is. So as you can see, I have the... this is the default, this is the new. Default, new. Take a closer look at just this. So when, like, really the iffiest part is probably the fact that the portrait, the top part of the portrait bar, I definitely need to smooth that out. So like artistically or whatever, it's not as great as it could be. Oh, it looks like I actually had messed around with this at some point. Added a small border. So I don't want it to I don't want it to look like obscure too much gameplay information, right? The console's already quite large, actually, which is fine. I don't think it needs to be rescaled or anything. But so I actually don't know if the background is... So this is like a way to compare the two. So this is the default. This is new. I don't want to remove the portrait altogether. I think the portrait adds a lot of value, actually. Maybe that could be an option to turn it off, though. It doesn't really obscure that much more information. I think you can still see a lot. But the option to then put the stuff down here where you see you would see all of the different abilities all in these 4 areas, or maybe I could move passives over there. Like really, there's a bunch of different options. Like add-ons could be localized over here or on the bottom, and then like liftoff could be over here, rally could be over here, always, something like that. Stuff like that could definitely be seen as an improvement in that sense. And obviously just having more buttons in general is a good idea. So there's going to be ways for me to modify it in the future as well. I could throw this UI in at any time. I'm not actually sure about the portrait. If the portrait... I'm pretty sure there's some shit I would have to do to modify the location of the portrait on like a bin file or something. I could throw the console in here at any time, though, and you would see pretty much the same stuff. The menu button would also have to move up and to the right a little bit. But Yeah, generally speaking, I could throw this console at any time. The question is, how long until we get the buttons added to the game? That is a different story. That's already been done before. People have added more than 9 buttons to the game, but not sure how specifically like that's been taken care of. The other issue, of course, well, in my opinion, the other issue is it's going to be really difficult for me to do the other consoles. Like, the Terran and Protoss consoles need to look much more refined, I think. Whereas the Zerg one is a little bit more free in that respect. To look a little scrap-cobbled and messy. Also, I think the Terran one is... The Zerg one is meant to be an infested version of the Terran one. Which is why there's, like, Terran architecture and shit. So, I'm going to need to make the Terran one somewhat similar, it seems. I'm also going to have to update some of this stuff so it's not quite as mirrored. Like, I reconstructed a bunch of tentacles manually and added a lot of details, so the tentacle parts look distinct from what they used to, like from the other parts. But the backgrounds, you can see, like, the one with the red red computer shit along with the green computer shit is just mirrored from this tile. This one looks like it was a mirror of this one or something. I'm not actually sure what this one was. But like this one specifically, I'll just have to modify at some point. As well as probably modifying this one. So mostly just the computer stuff in the background. It should be super easy to do. But, yeah. Otherwise, maybe adding a bit of definition around here to smooth out some of the connection points. Should be good to go. So yeah, I don't know how difficult it will be to make the other consoles visually, but we'll get something done eventually for that. Not supremely worried. But that's stuff that's going to take a while, I think. Some fucking crazy file sizes. Okay. So what I was going to do is, now that I've done that, change to the AI. Whoa. Kissed goodbye. Nice double science facility. Player need, by the way. Wow. AI's actually doing stuff. It's pretty impressive. How unfortunate. Oh, not the spire. Brutal. Oh shit, I'm out of water. Fuck. Well, boys. BRB again. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's going pretty well. We were able to fix up a lot of things already, I think. Reduced lurker egg armor pretty significantly. Fixed up the time and resource costs and stats, I guess, of the Principality, Warp Anchor, and Legionnaire. Implemented the new Legionnaire upgrade. Fixed some bugs with Zerg 1. Fixed that Basilisk bug where it loses collision. And fix up that Burrow stuff. Fix up the Exemplar stuff. So yeah, now the only real issue is I gotta figure out what's going on with Argosy morphs. Because it wasn't happening before that they were bugged morphing to Argosies. That is... What the fuck? That's weird. I have to click on the Argosy to redraw its, shit, what the fuck? To redraw its progress bar. It's a bizarre bug. Let's take a look. That's why. I did not have the proper unit preset in Firegraft. There we go. So that's working. Maybe that also will fix the other issue. It's pretty strong. Yeah. Pretty good. Well, the main issue is that if I end up putting together the playable Protoss maps, the AI will win the game for you because the opponent is Zerg. So, I've actually been working a little bit on the Zerg AI. The AI stuff, really haven't done too many tests, but I'm wondering if maybe the third expansions are going down too soon. So their limited drone counts are being split between 3 bases. I'm also wondering if maybe they should be getting... Like, part of me thinks that they should be getting a lair sooner or a macro hatch sooner so that they have more that they can do. Like, they can manage larvae better. Maybe the solution, as stupid as it is to make it so that the Zerg just have a higher amount of resource multiplier. But I feel like that's such a shitty way to take, a shitty way to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just give them a cheat. That fucking sucks. I mean, I'm pretty sure that would even the odds. But the problem, the problem is basically that in order to handle, like, Zerg need to be microed better than the other races in the early game, by comparison to Protoss and to Terran. And the AI is uniquely terrible at Zerg specifically, because think about their issues with defense. They build units and send them one by one. Well, Zerglings definitely can't be doing that. At least, like, one Zealot might be able to pick off, like, 3 Zerglings or 2 Marines if it ends up going in on a one-by-one basis. But Zerglings will they'll die before they even get close, half the time. They'll maybe hit, like, one attack off or something before they die. So that's something that disproportionately affects Zerg performance. And that's an intrinsic issue with the AI. Meanwhile, with early game micro and stuff for attacks, like, it's kind of the same deal. Zealots get lost focusing a specific unit for too long. Well, that unit dies pretty quickly because they're Zealots. But Zerglings get lost focusing a specific unit. That unit might stay alive a little bit longer because they're Zerglings. Like, because of the race and the racial specific aspects to it, and because micro is more important for that race to survive the early game, you're stuck, man. You're really kind of fucked in that respect, I think. Now, yeah, maybe their build orders are also not great. Like, maybe the ones that aren't... Connor's build orders seem to be okay, generally speaking, for those. But maybe the other ones are bad, and, like, I just need to improve them. But I've made a lot of significant, like, system-based changes to the Zerg, and haven't really seen that much in the form of an improvement. I don't know, really, that it's necessarily something to do with their resources. Like, maybe they are already floating money, and they should be spending it more efficiently. But the problem is that no matter what they spend their money on, they're probably going to micro it really poorly. And Mutalisks and Zerglings both need to be micromanaged a lot more aggressively than other units. Hydras don't really need to as much, which is why the Connor Hydra build, well, that's confusing because Connor is the personality and the build author. But the 3-hatch Hydra build that Connor made works out okay most of the time, as long as the AI can get up to, like, 2 bases that are mining and then the 3rd that's on the way. They're pretty good because they don't have to worry nearly as much about microing their units. They get a lot of efficacy out of the Hydras. So that's where it becomes confusing and sort of unclear as to how I'm supposed to improve that. Right, their units don't do well without numbers. And that's, like, one of the key issues, is that the AI will oftentimes run into issues with lower numbers of shit in that respect. So, with any luck, we'll see some some improvement in that respect. All right. What do we want to do now? Now, there was some other shit that I wanted to do for all right, yeah. So I'm gonna update Cuckadoo Port here. Now the real question is, do we end up reshaping some of the ramps? Like maybe the interior team-oriented ramps could be bigger to allow for larger armies, is what I'm thinking. Okay, hold on. Let's do this a slightly more intelligent way. Yeah, DF did a pretty good job with the ramps, and the installation stuff came out pretty well, I think. There we go. I know. It's really unfortunate. It's okay, though. Eventually we'll have our own map editor. It's just going to be quite a while for that to happen. Needs to be shifted over. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that's always in the back of my mind at this point is like, when are we starting on the new RTS? Did that. What's next? This. I don't remember if I extended it towards the mineral field or away from it. Away from it by the looks of things. All right, done with those changes. Let me just make sure I got all of the unbuildable tiles. All right, looks good there. Playing Hydra gives you a feel of playing the real remaster of Starcraft. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, if only I actually mod streamed for that long. Oh, okay, I see. I was very confused there. Alright, I think we got them all. I feel quite a bit of fury and rage. Of course, that would fix it. Okay, well, that's good enough. That was trippy. Thought a mineral was stuck outside of the map bounds. Is it still Duke right now? Change it to the advisor. Actually, I feel like there are like complete static portraits in the game, or like no portrait for certain units, no? Yeah, there's a listing of none. Anyway, Hoop, how are you? How does it feel to be able to play multiplayer now? Yeah, now you can finally play Hydra, dude. Alright, so now we'll just delete the start locations there. See who's the unlucky man next to me. I gotta bail pretty soon, so I'll upload this fix and see what happens. But see you, nerd. Fortunately, all my Zerglings were kaput there, but looks like he was under attack by somebody else. I revel in the bullying. Ah, Zerg together at last. See you, nerd.
Got a drone up.
What do you mean by insane micro? Oh, you mean AI, yeah. And no, I'm not testing anything in particular. I guess I'm testing Zerg. I was also testing the changes to the map. And I'm testing my own capacity to play the game. Oh. I would say it's not looking too hot.
I guess I lost an overlord or something, or I just never built that many, which is also possible. Hey. Can't sim city like that. You fucko.
My zerglings will blot out the sun.
I can only imagine what's happening on the Protoss side of the map right now. But I've finally deleted all my imposters. All those who would be powerful. Hi. Oh, he must have a base in the middle of the map or something. Oh, hello. I think I might have found blue. Hi. How are you? Don't suppose I have any other units lying around by any chance? No. I also have a sunken, so that's fine. Reasonable, baby. Hey, why are you chasing me? There's a whole base over here you could be targeting instead. I need more Zerglings. Hey, Hoop Thrower, it's your base all over again. Except it's happening 10 minutes into the game now. Or 20 minutes, I guess. I'm not sure I need more. Oh, I lost this. I'm playing with sound off, so I have no idea what's happening half the time. Played pretty shit, TBH. If anybody had attacked me up until this point, I would have died a lot sooner. Oh, okay. See, Blue tried rebuilding. Hoop Thrower attempted counterattack. It was sort of effective. I need my extractor. What the fuck? Alright. Ah! Suddenly there's a billion units in my main. All right, well, this was fun, but unfortunately I gotta bail. Gotta get ready for work. Haha, I have Saber Siphon, idiot. Fuck. With the hives, I almost always have more larvae to spend, which is really nice. One thing that I would say out of after playing all this stuff and seeing other people's responses as well is it's pretty clear to me anyway that we got something going on here, man. Like, I haven't seen, nobody's really told me, hey, I really disagree with your change in this context or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's never been like a position that somebody seems to have taken where they say, like, obviously there's small things that people are going to prefer in some case or another, but most of the time they say, hey, you know, I like the direction you went with something. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm hearing more often than not. Just had no interest in defending this lurker for whatever reason. So that to me is pretty cool. Seems like we're really going somewhere with this. Pretty exciting stuff. I'll continue to iterate on the AI and improve stuff. And I'll ship this change right now before I go. So this is... and then the maps. Oops. Fuck. Do I want people to disagree? Well, if they have a disagreement, I want to hear it. I'm just saying I haven't heard any disagreements, really, is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I really wish people disagreed with me more per se. If they have something to say about it, like they say, hey, this is, you know, here's my take on this. I think maybe it could be improved if you did that. Well, it's just that they all have different updates or whatever. So, I could talk about this for a long time. Unfortunately, I do have to go. But I would say just give me the benefit of the doubt about the available tech stuff. There will be certain things that are limited, but you'll get access to the full tech tree, I would say, in the first 5 maps of each campaign, probably sooner. And give me the benefit of the doubt that I know what I'm doing about that. I mean, I guess I haven't really demonstrated this because I've never made a campaign like Hydra before that gives you the full tech tree in that sense with such a large amount of tech tree changes. But I want the challenge to come from engaging enemies in a melee type environment more so than I have limited tech and I've got to come up with some way to counter the enemy strat. That to me is not really that engaging. It's like challenging yourself to not build a certain kind of unit as opposed to win with all available tools at your disposal and all available tools at the enemy disposal. So I think the natural push and pull of the balance and the personalities and playstyles of your enemies and your allies as well, and of course, not to say anything about the level of map balance or map design that goes into what strategies are more or less efficient, just on a map balance level, forget about tech tree availability. I think all of those components will inform the gameplay in a more significant manner than the tech tree availability or whatever. The tech availability is something that I'm mostly cognizant of from the perspective of learning all of the new stuff from the get-go and learning all these new interactions as a player who's never played Hydra before, as a player who's not played any of the projects that are using the Hydra game state before. I want to be able to make sure that that's still approachable so that we're still tutorializing the player with all of these new changes. As it stands, the AI is going to come right out the gate swinging, being able to get all the way up to Guardian, Ultralisk, Defiler tech in the first mission of the Terran campaign. So maybe Defilers won't be showing up there, but Ultralisks almost certainly will be, and that means that of course you actually have the advantage as the Terran because you have tanks. The enemy doesn't have Defilers. In that sense, I'm actually putting the enemy at a tech disadvantage, despite the fact that normally I wouldn't want to do that, and that's because I'm assuming the players are kind of going to come into this first map not really sure what to expect. They're going to be thrown into a 3v3 right out the gate, which is going to establish the scale of Hydra as being much larger than most other campaigns, since this is your first mission. But it's also going to establish a bunch of their first impressions of the campaign, generally speaking, what the units are and stuff. The escalated units are not going to show up in the first mission. You're not going to have access to Shaman or Cyprians. Those will come later. You're not going to have access to Azazels in the first map either, so Science Vessels will be the ones that you have. access to. There's going to be some tech removals on your part where we start to add in a lot of the new units like the wyverns and stuff later on, as opposed to enabling them from the get-go. But basilisks and vorvalings will be available from the get-go. Lurkers will be available from the get-go. You're going to be thrown into a situation where you're mostly going to be relying on bio and mech in the early stages of the game, as well as the opportunity to use, you could do like a 2-port Wraith build if you wanted to. You could do some Wraith stuff. You could definitely do some Science Vessel enhancement with Irradiate, but you won't have access to D-Matrix. So I think that at the end of the day, you're going to see some pretty significant scale out of the very first mission, despite the fact that not all the tech is available. And I don't think that the tech being unavailable or not is really where I want to balance the difficulty of the mission. I would much rather get people accustomed and acclimatized to playing against Terran and Zerg and Protoss in this new environment, which the first couple of missions of the Terran campaign will establish very early on. And after you've played the first couple of maps, all right, now you get the whole tech tree. See what you can do. See what you and your allies that vary on individual maps can do against your enemies that vary on individual maps. And within the maps that themselves vary in terms of what the environments are provided to you. So there's going to be a lot of variance in terms of how each mission feels and how each mission plays based on the terrain aspects, as well as, of course, the enemy playstyles. That's basically my counter-argument to that position. I am also potentially concerned about the fact that the tech trees are not a limiting factor, not a gating factor for that sort of thing, but we're going to see how it goes, as opposed to, I believe that there is an experiment worth having here that will dictate whether or not we have the ability to make a campaign where your start tech tree and your end tech tree are identical. The tech tree available in your first mission is identical to the tech available in your last mission, and yet you still had a very progressive experience that makes you feel like as you are playing the game, you're understanding more about the game, you're learning more about the game, and the things are getting harder in some capacity based on map layout, based on your enemy's competence, that sort of thing. So, yeah. Hopefully that absolves you of any concerns. But either way, I'll keep an eye out for sure. Well, now I'm out of here. It's been real. Thanks everybody who hung out today. Thank you again, iquare, wherever you are, for helping me out with all of those changes. Thanks to Veek and Ultralisks for your videos recently. And I will catch you guys later. There has been an update to Zergo 1 to fix some issues, to Terrano 2 to fix some issues, and obviously an update to a bunch of other stuff to fix some issues. So if you guys end up doing anything else, let me know how it goes. Bye.